Hi, I'm Steve Younis. Welcome to the Speeding Bulletin, your Superman news video recapping the events of the week July 15th to July 21st, 2016. Our top news stories this week included: the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman is now available on Blu-ray, San Diego Comic-Con is currently underway, and La La Land Records is releasing a Justice League animated series 4CD soundtrack. Let's check out these news stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. In movie news, the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is out now on Blu-ray and DVD in a variety of formats, 4K, 3D, etc. Last week I was lucky enough to receive an early review copy of the standard Blu-ray combo pack and sat down to watch all the bonus material included in the 3-disc collection. The special features are a series of 10 to 15 minute behind-the-scenes documentaries that focus on a particular aspect of the movie. Unfortunately, that's the extent of the bonus material on this Blu-ray collection. However, purchasing the Blu-ray DVD combo pack is definitely a must if you're a fan of this film, but if you already purchased the digital HD version, you may think twice about forking out more money for this collection. An excerpt from the bonus material included in the Blu-ray DVD release of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice has been posted online, with stars Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and director Zack Snyder revealing how the superheroes' epic showdown was made.
For a scene like this, it takes months of stunt training just to get the actual movement of all the fights. So in this rooftop fight, we have ourselves hooked up to these wires. Under the suit, we have this harness, it's super tight, and we get strapped in, right, to these winches. And they make us fly or crash. And for example, in this fight scene, Batman does this kick to Superman. It sends him launch across the rooftop into this awning rooftop skylight.
Warner Brothers has posted a 6 BVS 101 video, this one all about Wonder Woman, giving us a closer look at the warrior princess to promote the release of Batman v Superman on Blu-ray and DVD.
Wonder Woman was created by the same man who invented the polygraph, William Moulton Marston. He sought to create a superhero that could win the day differently than the rough and tumble heroes of the time. His wife Elizabeth agreed, with one caveat: make her a woman.
Fans in Sydney, Australia will want to book their tickets for a special screening of Superman 2, which will include a Q&A panel with actors Mark McClure, who played Jimmy Olsen, and Sarah Douglas, who played Ursa. The screening will take place at the Hayden Orpheum Picture Palace in Cremorne on Sunday, October 9th at 6:30 p.m. Tickets cost just $25 per person. In TV news, Chris Wood, best known for his role as Kai Parker in the Vampire Diaries TV series, has been cast in an unknown role for Season 2 of Supergirl. All we know at this point in time is that the actor will be playing a surprise DC Comics character and that he'll make his debut early in the season. Don't forget, the Season 2 premiere of Supergirl will take place on Monday, October 10th at 8 p.m. on the CW. Warner Brothers and Comic-Con are once again teaming up on the official bags of San Diego Comic-Con with 18 different versions for fans to enjoy, and this year the cool convention carriers come with a hidden secret, an interactive augmented reality experience courtesy of the visual discovery app Blipper. This year it's not what's in the bag, but what's on the bag, and just a few simple steps will allow fans to unlock the surprise content using the Blipper app on iOS and Android devices. Bags that will interest Superman fans are the Supergirl, DC Superhero Girls, and Justice League Action Carry bags. La La Land Records announced that they will be releasing a 4-CD collection of music from the Justice League animated series. Music from more than 20 episodes is featured in this stellar collection, produced by John Takis and mastered by James Nelson. Exclusive in-depth linear notes by album producer Takis take you behind the show and the score, with comments from the composers, while Dan Goldwasser's spirited art design springs the packaging into action. This is a limited edition of 3,000 units. In comic book news, DC Comics released their October 2016 solicitations, and we highlighted for you all the Superman-related comics and products listed. Of special note was Action Comics 965, in which Superman returns to the public eye, but what of Lois Lane? When a mysterious package arrives for Lois and Clark back on the farm, Lois can stay on the sidelines no more, but where does that leave Superman's human doppelganger, Clark Kent? And Superman number 8, in which father and super son work on a science assignment with bizarre consequences that transports the pair along with Krypto to Dinosaur Land. Now amid relics of World War II, Superman tries to keep John from the jaws of prehistoric predators. Worse, Kal-El can't find a way to fly off the island. Check out the full list of Superman-related titles listed in the October solicitations at our website now. Comic books we reviewed this week included Action Comics 959, which was reviewed by Michael Bailey, who said, "For the third issue in a row, I have a massive smile on my face when I get to the last page," and he gave this issue a 5 out of 5 rating. James Lance reviewed Earth 2 Society number 14, giving it a 5 out of 5, saying, "Dan Abnett blends fine character moments with superhero action." New Superman number 1 was reviewed by Jeremiah Bohr, who said, "Yang is a good writer and it shows," and he gave this first issue a 5 out of 5 score. T.A. Ewart reviewed Adventures of Supergirl chapter 13, giving this final chapter a 5 out of 5, saying, "Readers were treated to a top-form series from a writer who genuinely understands and likes the character of Supergirl." T.A. also reviewed Injustice Year 5 chapter 30, saying, "Newton's Law is all that's keeping this series going," and he gave this chapter a 0 out of 5. Superman comics available this week from July 20th include Injustice Year 5 Chapter 31 digital comic has been available since July 19th. Adventures of Supergirl number 6 print edition. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 5 number 14 print edition. Justice League number 1, which is available in a variant cover, a black and white version of that cover, and an additional variant cover. Superman number 3, which is also available in a variant cover. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 4 Volume 1 trade paperback. Superman Action Comics Volume 7 trade paperback, and Superman Action Comics Volume 8 hardcover. DC superhero girls are taking the world by storm with a massive range of products for fans of all ages. Get this Mattel 6-inch DC Superhero Girls Supergirl action figure for just $9.94. Or how about a DC Superhero Girls Sparkle Velvet poster set for $12.99. These and a range of other DC Superhero Girls collectibles are available from a one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. In other news, Mattel has released a new wave of their DC Comics Multiverse 6-inch figures, which include Doomsday Collect and Connect figure pieces. The 4 action figures being released in this wave are Supergirl, the TV series version, Armored Batman, Robin, and Doomsday Superman. Another upcoming wave of figures is reported to include a Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Prison Lex Luthor figure, and Dark Knight Returns Mutant Leader figure, which will include the remaining pieces of the Doomsday Collect and Connect figure. NECA announced that they will be releasing a set of action figures based on the 1978 classic Superman vs. Muhammad Ali. The 7-inch action figures inspired by the Neil Adams famous oversized comic book cover will be on display at San Diego Comic-Con at the NECA booth with an expected release date of October 2016. During preview night of San Diego Comic-Con, Mezco revealed an upcoming addition to their 112 collective figure line, Red Sun Superman. The figure features 112 accurate real fabric costuming assembled on a 112 collective body, featuring over 38 points of articulation. The 8th episode of Season 2 of the DC Superhero Girls animated shorts is now online. A round of applause for the newest hero of the month, Batgirl. She's the resident computer genius at Superhero High and can solve problems faster than a calculator. Don't forget, new episodes debut bi-weekly on the DC Superhero Girls website and their YouTube channel. Superman homepage reporter Lewis James is in San Diego attending Comic-Con International for us once again this year, and where possible he'll be tweeting live updates on all the Superman-related panels and events, which will automatically be posted on our website. Check it out across the weekend. That's all the news there was for the week July 15th to July 21st. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
And this is the problem with the film from its inception, that Batman could ever have a battle with Superman, and that it could ever be believable, or that Superman wouldn't just crush him in a second. And we've already talked about that going into it and how I feel about it, and I think that this particular battle, and when you introduce kryptonite, and when you have Batman armored, and when Superman is weakened, and when Superman is not a killer, and when he goes into the battle with his heart not really in destroying Batman, a lot of that makes it make a lot more sense. So that's what we have here. We have a Superman who clearly when he leaves Lois says, or he has to die, that's all I can do. You can tell he's weak. You can tell his resolve in that is not really of a man who's going to go kill Batman. Otherwise, his eyes would just be red and he'd do a super shot over to where Batman is in a second and Batman would just be paste. Armor, no armor, kryptonite, no kryptonite, it would just be done. or you throw a penny through his helmet from space and it goes down into his feet and he's dead. But that's not Superman. So Superman goes in, and we kind of know, a lot of fans wanted to say, oh yeah, this is Superman, a guy who says he's going to kill a guy. No, it's Superman desperate to save his mother, which we then go back to, why didn't he just find... Oh, well, without the kryptonite, I guess that couldn't have happened, so we needed that there. But in that case, Batman could have come with the kryptonite and said, Wonder Woman, here! Or Superman, here! He wouldn't throw it to Superman because he knows that the kryptonite would kill him. But so there are dramatic beats that we needed to get to in the movie, so the direction that I'm talking about couldn't have happened, but they should have been explained away or shown why that wasn't done that way. Better than I think that they were. Sure, we can say Superman didn't want to get involved because he was afraid Martha would be killed, but then that would apply to Batman as well, because Lex isn't just going to let Batman go rescue her. Either way, you're involving Batman to save her, I'm killing her. You come to save her, I'm killing her. Cops show up, I'm killing her. I know you can find her. I know you have the ability to know where she's at. You might hear her right now, but if you tell anyone, go save her, send anyone, I'm going to kill her. And then you'll know that you knew where she was, but didn't do what I wanted, so she's dead. But the biggest thing, of course, is the battle. And here's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is not whether or not Batman could fight Superman. We know that if Superman had resolve and was planning on killing whoever he had to kill, Batman or anybody else would never stand a chance. Batman generally relies on the fact that Superman's not a killer and always holds back in his battles. He knows this about him. This Batman wouldn't necessarily know that, because this Batman only knows that he had a battle in Metropolis that killed lots of people, broke a guy's neck, and supposedly saved the world, but at what cost? That's what drove this Batman to decide Superman needed to be killed. So the biggest problem is that Batman thinks that this terrible killer who could destroy the world is going to allow him the time to use kryptonite on him and not just fly into him at Mach 12, if that's even a number, and paste him across the earth. Then the second part of that is, if Batman believes he's so terrible, he needs to be ready as soon as he gets there or before he can hit him with the kryptonite. But he's not. He hits him with bullets, which he knows aren't going to affect him. He lets him destroy his weapons. He lets him push him down onto the ground. He lets him fly him through a building. He waits until they land on the other side, where Superman had infinite number of chances to destroy Batman and make him paste, before he hits him with the first kryptonite gas pellet. And that, of course, brings Superman down to a super weak level, and Batman then gets the upper hand and starts beating up Superman. But you would need to do that immediately. And even immediately would be too late, because you wouldn't see him coming and he'd just paste you if he was such a terrible, terrible, destructive, murderous force. And that's what we're meant to believe Bruce thinks that he is. Bruce doesn't have any reason in his addled state to believe that Superman's going to be a guy who holds back. He believes he's the coming of death. He believes he is the apocalypse of Earth. He believes that he's going to bring about death and destruction wherever he goes. So he doesn't think he's a good guy who's going to hold back or wait or give this guy time to kill him. So it makes no sense that Batman would ever think, not only will he not just make me paste or kill me, like Alfred says, you have no chance here, especially if you're right. Why wouldn't he just kill you? He could fly over you with beams. He could melt you to paste. He could destroy you within less than a second, before you could deploy any kryptonite, before you could even know he was there. So if he's that bad, Batman who's that smart shouldn't know that. Okay, so we go, he's so crazy that he's not the normal Batman we know, and we see that throughout the movie. He does things that Batman fans hated and said, that isn't Batman, it's very out of character. He doesn't use guns, he doesn't kill people. But he's so mad, and he's so angry, and he's so just obsessed with killing this thing that he thinks is going to destroy the Earth, that he doesn't do his normal strategy. He gets angry, and he works out, and he goes over there in armor, and he's going to fight Superman. Still doesn't explain why he doesn't hit him with kryptonite right away. Superman lands, boom, I'm a tough guy, boom, kryptonite, you're dead. Or what about a kryptonite bullet? Boom, I'm a tough guy, I landed, psh, now I'm dead. Right in my heart, right in my head, whatever. No, he waits. Superman would have crushed him 10 times over. He waits till he uses that. And it was real cool, one of my favorite parts, when Superman gets his strength back, kind of smirks at him and starts beating him up again. Then we have Superman, instead of finishing the battle, okay, he doesn't want to kill Batman, we know that. But instead of just tearing off his armor, throwing him against the wall and having him be knocked unconscious, or hitting his face, tear the helmet off, pop him in the head, he again just kind of throws Batman around because he doesn't want to hurt him and waits for Batman to use kryptonite on him again. Then he leaps through the air at him and gets hit right in the face with the kryptonite, where instead he could go super fast around, super fast down, he could fly anywhere and not get hit, but he knows he has the kryptonite now. So the battle itself is a giant plot hole, and a lot of things happen in it that are nonsensical and unable to be explained in a reasonable way. You can say, yes, Superman doesn't want to hurt Batman. Batman is in a crazed state, so he isn't thinking about how he should go about this. He just does it, and he doesn't have the order right. But it happens multiple times, and it continues to happen, and the whole idea that Superman is so dangerous Batman can't leave him alive is contradicted by the fact that Batman leaves him alive and waits around to use any of the kryptonite. He would have been dead, or the battle would have been over, and Superman would destroy the Earth without Batman being there anymore, if that was what he wanted to do. And that's the whole plot of the movie, that Bruce so thinks that that's who this guy is, so he should be ultra prepared, he should be ultra ready, he should ultra know that this guy could destroy him in seconds, so I gotta get him first. But he doesn't do that. So it's kind of nonsensical, and that's the biggest plot hole, and because of it, if you don't just make up reasons in your head or just let it go, the whole idea of the movie kind of falls apart right there. Because without that, there wouldn't be a battle, there wouldn't be a Batman v Superman, because Batman would either be paced or Superman would be dead within seconds. He would never get to the point where he could convince Batman that he's just as human as he is, or even more so. I still love the movie, but that's a big problem that I don't think the Ultimate Edition is going to fix, because it's still going to happen the way it happens. But we'll see, and I'll talk about that next week. Some paste for thought. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky. And remember, if you look up in the sky, you might see an emaciated, nuclear-blasted Superman floating in space, almost looking like a zombie who eventually, because of the sun, gets his power back and opens his angry red eyes. So always look up there.